Hello, and welcome to this third lecture on Old Testament models of leadership. If you're taking this course for credit from Berkeley College, then you have assigned reading from our required textbook, The Good Book on Leadership. What a great read. Again, if you haven't picked up a copy of this, you should. It's full of wonderful aspects of leadership based upon personalities from the Bible. Good read for anyone. This week, the focus of our reading will be on chapters 6 through 8, and you'll be studying the leadership of Moses from the perspective of our three authors. The authors identify Moses' leadership style as people management, administrative, and charismatic. Charismatic is listed among the five main leadership models coming out of leadership theory today, and we'll focus our attention on that in this lecture. Administrative and people management are just good aspects of leadership that are identified in the life of Moses by our authors. So there's no doubt in my mind that from this week's reading, you will be informed about how to be a good leader in these specific areas, and you'll better connect with God's man, the one we call Moses. I shared with you last week in the video time that we will be drilling down on five main theories coming out of leadership research today. There are five main theories, and so we're going to focus in on them, identify them, share some aspects about them, and then directly connect them to at least one Old Testament personality as an example of how that theory worked thousands of years ago. Last week we explored the concept of servant leadership. Servant leadership is a topic that's gained significant attention in recent years and has become increasingly popular as an approach to leadership. It has found its way into theory as well, and there's a lot of data and research being done about this particular model or theory of leadership. Servant leadership, as you recall from last week, is a leadership philosophy that emphasizes the leader's role as a servant to their followers. Rather than focusing on a traditional authoritarian approach, servant leadership focuses on the well-being, the development, and the growth of team members with the goal of achieving organizational success through the empowerment and service to others. Current leadership science identifies a second main leadership theory we want to examine this week, and that is charismatic. I will not spend any time discussing Moses as a charismatic leader due to our authors addressing that in chapter 6 of your reading for this week. I will, however, be including Joshua in our discussion at some point as an Old Testament model of charismatic leadership. But first, let's talk about what charismatic leadership style is. What does the science say? What does that data show? Charismatic leadership theory conjectures that leaders who possess charismatic qualities are more likely to inspire and influence their followers, leading to higher levels of follower commitment, motivation, and performance. In the next few moments that we have together, let's delve into the intricacies of charismatic leadership theory, explore its key concepts. What about its historical origins? Can we trace anything back? Sure we can. What are the key components, the criticisms, and the practical applications to using a charismatic leadership in contemporary settings today? At its core, charismatic leadership theory asserts that charisma, which refers to personal magnetism, charm, and appeal of a leader, is a critical factor in influencing followers. Charismatic leaders are seen as possessing extraordinary qualities, such as confidence, self-assurance, vision, and the ability to articulate and communicate their ideas in an inspiring manner. According to the theory, it is this charismatic appeal that enables leaders to create a strong emotional connection with their followers. resulting in heightened loyalty and commitment from people. The origins of charismatic leadership theory can be traced back to the work of a German sociologist by the name of Max Weber. He first introduced the concept of charisma in the early 20th century. Weber defined charisma as a form of authority that is not based on tradition, legal, or even rational grounds, but rather on exceptional qualities of the individual. He argued that leaders who practice a charismatic approach to leadership possessed what he called a gift of grace that set them apart from ordinary individuals and enabled them to inspire and influence others in extraordinary ways. It was a special work of grace, is what he saw it as. One of the key components of charismatic leadership theory is the renowned leadership of Bernard Bass. Bernard Bass has written several books on leadership. I have one of them here, Transformational Leadership. I have another one in my bookcase behind us by Bass as well. But this is an exceptional book, and he deals with this concept of charismatic leadership. So I would encourage you to pick it up if you're interested in reading and learning more about that. But Bernard Bass, certainly is a scholar and yet a key proponent in terms of expanding this leadership theory forward. He argues that charismatic leaders possess a set of core characteristics that include a compelling vision, a high degree of self-confidence, a willingness to take risks, a strong communication skill, and just the overall ability to get along with people, to meet them where they're at and encourage them and speak life into them and give them hope and encouragement. He also suggests that charismatic leaders often engage in transformational leadership. Transformational leadership, another model that we'll be looking at from research in the next few weeks. But transformational leadership involves inspiring and motivating followers to achieve beyond their self-interest and to work towards the collective goal of the organization or the community. Another influential figure in the field of charismatic leadership is James MacGregor Burns, and this is one of his books that I have in my office here and would be using as reference as well for lecture material this week and others. But a great read, again, by a man who has contributed a great deal to this subject of charismatic leadership. He wrote in the 1970s and did research and argued that charismatic leaders engaged in transformational leadership by articulating a compelling vision, building trust and rapport with followers, and empowering them to achieve their full potential. He also emphasized the moral dimension of leadership, asserting that charismatic leaders are driven by a sense of purpose and a desire to serve the greater good. Charismatic leadership, having a sense of purpose and a desire to serve the greater good. People respond to that. It is important to note that despite its many strengths, charismatic leadership theory has also faced some criticism from scholars down through the years. One criticism is that charismatic leadership is subjective and difficult to define, making it challenging to measure and to support or substantiate empirically or scientifically. Additionally, some scholars have argued that charismatic leaders can be prone to abuse in terms of overusing their power, manipulating people, and promoting their self-interest at the expense of the organization or the community. No doubt there are examples of that, not only with this leadership style, but others as well. Critics have also pointed out that charismatic leadership may not be effective in all situations, and that other factors, such as situational context, the situation, the context in which the leader is trying to lead in the moment, or the follower characteristics, depending on who the people are. Some of them may not be good followers, as others would be, so that would be a factor in this, or organizational culture. All of these may play a significant role in the leadership outcomes of one who is leading by charismatic models and aspects. Despite these criticisms, however, charismatic leadership theory has found practical application in many contemporary leadership settings today. Many leaders in business, politics, sports, and other fields are known for their charismatic qualities, which enable them to inspire and influence their followers. Charismatic leaders are often seen as effective in leading organizational change by creating a positive organizational culture and building high-performing teams of people. They're also known for their ability to inspire followers to go above and beyond their usual performance levels and to achieve extraordinary outcomes. I believe Joshua was an Old Testament personality who demonstrated a charismatic leadership model. As a successor of Moses, Joshua led the Israelites into the promised land and is known for his courage, his vision, and his ability to inspire and influence his followers. One of the charismatic leadership skills that Joshua exhibited was his ability to articulate a compelling vision to his people. According to the Bible, Joshua received a divine mandate from God to lead the Israelites across the Jordan River and conquer the land of Canaan. He communicated this vision to his followers with clarity and conviction, inspiring them with a promise of a prosperous and bountiful land flowing with milk and honey. All they had to do was go and take it. It was theirs for the taking. Joshua's vision provided a sense of purpose and direction to the Israelites, motivating them to follow him with unwavering faith and commitment throughout some very difficult circumstances. Joshua also demonstrated a high degree of self-confidence, which is really another hallmark indication of charismatic leadership. When Moses died, Joshua was faced with the daunting task of leading a nation of millions of people. Despite the challenges and the uncertainties, Joshua exuded confidence in his ability to lead and conquer in the land of Canaan. He displayed resilience and determination in the face of great obstacles. In his unwavering self-assurance inspired confidence and trust in his followers. Joshua was known for his courage and his willingness to take risks, which are critical traits of charismatic leaders. For example, when the Israelites were about to cross the Jordan River, Joshua sent spies to scout the land of Canaan. Even though it possessed potential dangers, he inspired people to move forward. He continued with diligence. He also led the Israelites in several military campaigns to conquer various cities in Canaan, displaying bravery and valor in the face of formidable opponents. Joshua's courageous action instilled a sense of bravery and determination in his followers, encouraging them to face challenges with similar fortitude, the fortitude that he had, as he placed his faith in God and kept the dream before them. In addition, Joshua was an effective communicator, which is a key aspect of charismatic leadership. He was able to convey his message in a clear and concise and compelling manner, using persuasive language to motivate his followers. For example, Joshua addressed the Israelites before crossing the Jordan River by urging them to have faith and trust in God emphasizing the importance of obedience and loyalty. Joshua eloquently had the ability to connect with his followers through effective communication that fostered a strong emotional connection and loyalty among the Israelites. Joshua displayed transformational leadership qualities, which we will talk about more in the subsequent weeks. Transformational leadership qualities, closely associated with charismatic leadership, but that's not our focus today. He empowered his followers, delegated responsibilities, and motivated them to achieve their full potential. He was known for his integrity, his humility, and servant mindset, putting the needs of people before his own. Joshua's transformational leadership style, his charismatic leadership style, inspired followers to emulate his values and his behavior, creating a culture of trust, loyalty, and mutual respect. Joshua was a leader who inspired and influenced the Israelites. He led them to conquer the promised land and establish themselves as a nation. Joshua's story serves as an enduring example of charismatic leadership in ancient times, and his legacy continues to this day to inspire us and instruct us into how to be good leaders.